talk about diversity in the workplace. This is different than what we just talked about as in terms of workplace culture, but the word culture is used across various contexts, so it's important to know the difference when you're talking about this. Diversity in the workplace refers to the overlapping social and personal identities of the organizational members. And oftentimes we look at diversity in the workplace in terms of gender or racial identity or ethnicity or religious beliefs or all of these different categories. And I use air quotes because I could talk about categories all day. This is also my dog, Jamie. So here he comes to say hello. Hi, Jamie. Go take your bone. Thank you. Uh, so sorry about that. Right, this diversity in the workplace refers to all these overlapping identities. And it's so important to have diversity in the workplace because, and we could talk again about this all day, groupthink, which is where if we're all of the same perception, then we're not going to be innovative in our thinking. That's the word, innovative. So having this diversity means we have different perspectives in the workplace, and it's super, super important. So it's important for professional excellence, but it's also important for the inner workings of the organization and progress, right? So it's important to be aware of different worldviews, of those that are not our own. This refers to cultural competence. And if you think about the word competence, that's knowing, right? If you are skillful and successful at knowing something about whether it's cultural competence or you could insert another word, but it's knowing, right? So this is important to have as a newcomer in an organization, especially. So you always want to make sure that you're checking your own perception, how others' perceptions are different or could be different. And it's not about assigning perceptions to others because we don't have those perceptions because we only have our own. But it is important to recognize that your perception is not everyone else's either. This requires a level of mutual respect and understanding within the workplace. There's a lot of team building skills that can be done here too. And overall, it's just extremely important. And I want to talk briefly about prejudice and discrimination in the workplace. And this applies outside of the workplace too. But just to know the difference, because we throw around these words a lot, and it's just important to me that we break them down and make sure we know the difference here. So having prejudice towards someone is having a negative attitude toward them because of their group membership, whatever that may be, and other members of that group. It has to do with implicit and explicit biases, which are feelings that exist already within us about different people, different identities, whereas discrimination is the act. This is like an action of excluding people or denying them products, rights, and services based on their group membership. So discrimination, there are laws to protect people from discrimination in most cases in our country. So this is just important to know the difference, but not in order to for where you're going to be, but in order to just know that they're both really bad, right? But discrimination is the act. So that's just an important little note for me there. Overall, your chapter 5 talks about different organizational cultures, but as well as diversity in the workplace. And both are really important to have your perception, but also be understanding of others' perceptions. So to wrap up, we need to go over your assignment 2, which is due on Sunday, next Sunday by 11:59 p.m. And your quiz 2 is only 10 questions and it is due by 11:59 on Friday. It's only 10 questions because there was less content to go over. So if you have any questions about those, please reach out via email and we'll chat. And I hope you have a really good week if you're watching these, but also if you're not watching these.